You're listening to WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key in Noonan, Georgia, home of Braves Country with Magee and the Armchair Quarterbacks, weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern, right here on The Key and YouTube.com at Braves Country.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hey folks, this is Mark White with The Mark White Show, and you can tune into The Mark White Show every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. right here on Rock 99, WQEE The Key, the home of Southern sports and talk.
Are you looking for a reliable dental practice that not only cares about your teeth, but is friendly to work with? How about one that offers great deals and new patient promotions? Well, your search is over. Most Valuable Smiles in downtown Eatonton, Georgia is committed to giving you the biggest and brightest smile. Right now, get a $99 new patient special, including x-rays and exam. Maybe you're looking for veneers. Most Valuable Smiles veneer special includes one free veneer with every 5 purchased. Or get that bright white smile you've always wanted by taking advantage of an exclusive $100 off Zoom whitening treatment when you book today. And don't forget that 2022 is almost over. That means most insurance policies will reset by the new year, and to avoid losing that extra money, you need to use it or lose it. Book an appointment today with Most Valuable Smiles in downtown Eatonton to lock in these exclusive deals. Call 706-623-0318 or visit mostvaluablesmiles.com.
Enjoy sun-drenched days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale's Safe and Clean pledge so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you're ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 23 miles of golden beaches await. Find wide-open spaces to hike, bike, kayak, and paddleboard. Visit your favorite attractions, then dine out in style in dining rooms or al fresco on waterfront patios. Learn more at sunny.org.
It all starts with just one thing. When recycling, rinse out jars and cans, and avoid recycling wax paper or paper soiled with food. This will reduce recycling contamination. Find tips and more at onethingus.com. What's your one thing?
Hey sports fans, The Key has a brand new show. Braves Country is coming your way weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. Drive time on WQEE. Braves Country is a Southern sports talk show with Magee and the Armchair Quarterbacks. We'll be talking the Atlanta Braves and Major League Baseball, along with everything important to sports fans in Braves Country. The SEC, ACC, Big Ten, and the National Football League, and the big sports news of the day. That's Braves Country with Magee and the Armchair Quarterbacks. Weekdays, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. right here on WQEE The Key, 99.1 FM, and simulcasting on youtube.com/@Braves Country.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up,
good night,
there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell and engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
That's the sound of NyQuil Severe hard at work. NyQuil Severe is the best sleep with a cold medicine. No tossing and turning, just rest and recovery. So you're ready to take on tomorrow. For powerful relief of your worst cold and flu symptoms, try NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, best sleep with a cold medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey Braves fans, thank you for listening to Braves Country Baseball. Hi, I'm Magee, and we are here to bring you play-by-play, pitch-by-pitch of your Atlanta Braves, bringing you spring training and 2 to 3 games a week all season long. Please like and subscribe today. Braves Country Baseball.
Winter is the perfect time to start planning for your healthy, pest-free spring lawn with True Green, America's #1 lawn care company. True Green's science-based approach and local expertise will help give your lawn the year-round care it needs to be thick and weed-free. Go to truegreen.com. Just call 866-946-5956 or go to truegreen.com today and get a lawn to be proud of.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rod Peterson here, host of The Rod Peterson Show, inviting you to join us daily for 2 hours of Atlanta's funnest sports talk right here on WQEE. I say fun because it is. You've never heard a show like it because we make the listeners a part of the show every day between noon and 2 p.m. Eastern. You'll hear plenty of the best sports talk, including the latest on the Falcons, the Braves, and more. And who knows, you might even hear you. That's the Rod Peterson Show, daily at noon, right here on WQEE 99.1 FM.
It's the best in sports and entertainment, and get locked in and locked down with Rhino Radio Penitentiary, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. with your host, me, Ryan O'Neill, each and every morning, right here with the best in sports and entertainment, all the way from professional sports to college sports to River Dragons hockey and everything in between, including some of the very best local and national guests. It's the Rhino Radio Penitentiary, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday, right here on 99.1 FM WQEE.
Hey, sports fans. Weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. Drive time on WQEE. Braves Country is a Southern sports talk show with Mac Magee and the Armchair Quarterbacks. That's Braves Country with Mac Magee and the Armchair Quarterbacks. Weekdays, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. right here on WQEE 99.1 FM. You're listening to WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key in Noonan, Georgia.
Armchair. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Radio, #1 sports station.
Good afternoon, and this is your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. Major League Baseball, a pretty decent slate here on a Thursday, getaway day for most teams. Mets and Reds began at 12:35 Eastern. Senga versus Law. At 1:10, it was Padres versus Twins. Yu Darvish on the bump versus Bailey Ober. The Chicago White Sox at 2:10 versus the Kansas City Royals. Clevenger versus Brady Singer. We'll keep you up to date on all the scores all throughout Braves Country today. Keep it locked in. Tonight in Major League Baseball on MLB Network, the Rays are at the Yankees, starting a 4-game set. Rasmussen versus Domingo Germán. Giants and Diamondbacks begin a 4-game set as well. Alex Cobb, 2-1 with a 2.01 ERA versus Thomas Henry, 1-0 with a 5.17. And the Texas Rangers are in Oakland to face the A's. Nathan Eovaldi will take the hill for Texas, 4-2 with a 3.22 ERA. Got a doubleheader in the NBA playoffs tonight. Boston Celtics are at the Philadelphia 76ers. It's an elimination game as the Philadelphia 76ers try to knock out their arch rival up 3-2. If there is a Game 7, it will be Sunday. 10 o'clock Eastern, same situation as the Suns. They are at home trying to stave off elimination. Nuggets up 3-2. A Game 7 would also be on Sunday afternoon. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, doubleheader on TNT. Devils down 3-1 to the Hurricanes. Game number 5 in Carolina. 7 o'clock, the puck drops. And at 9:30, The Kraken are at the Stars. Series all knotted up at 2 apiece. Game number 5 is in Dallas. Women's college softball, the ACC and SEC tournaments going all day long. 11 o'clock Eastern, the number 21 Gators are up against Kentucky, while number 3 Florida State plays Syracuse. At 2 o'clock Eastern, SEC Network, Ole Miss versus Auburn. The Tigers, number 15 in the land. Georgia Tech and Duke, 5 o'clock Eastern on ACC Network. The Blue Devils are number 9. The Georgia Bulldogs, number 11, they'll take on South Carolina. 5 o'clock SEC Network. Middle Tennessee State, 6 p.m. Eastern on the Plus. Clemson, North Carolina, 7:30 ACC Network. The Tigers, number 10 in the country. While the Arkansas Razorbacks are on at 8 o'clock on SEC Network. And if you're up for the late tilt, number 6 Stanford versus number 18 Oregon, 9:30 Eastern, Pac-12 tournament. West Virginia head basketball coach Bob Huggins will return to the sideline next season in the wake of using the anti-gay slur in a radio interview earlier this week. Huggins has agreed to a $1 million salary reduction, 3-game suspension, and sensitivity training. Huggins' suspension will take place during the Mountaineers' first 3 regular season games, and his contract will amend from a multi-year to a year-by-year pact that will begin May 10th, 2023 and end April of 2024. Huggins' amended salary reductions takes it from $4.2 to $3.2 million. The $1 million salary reduction is believed to be one of the biggest in college athletics. The school said it will partner with the University LGBTQ+ Center to develop annual training sessions that will address all aspects of inequality. Huggins, 69 years old, will be required to meet with leadership from the university's Caruth Center, quote, to better understand the mental health crisis facing our college students, unquote. The $1 million reduction will go to the LGBTQ Center. And the USC Trojans, who had already landed Bronny James, son of LA Lakers superstar LeBron James, now have DJ Rodman, which was announced on social media that he's transferring to USC. The son of NBA rebounding great Dennis Rodman played the last 4 seasons at Washington State. The 6'6" power forward averaged 9.6 points, 5.8 rebounds, while starting 30 of 31 games for the Cougars last season. Rodman will take advantage of an NCAA rule allowing an extra year of eligibility because of COVID-19 pandemic. The Trojans have already signed guard Isaiah Collier and forward Arrington Page. They'll join returning starters Boogie Ellis, Kobe Johnson, and Joshua Morgan. And that's your Armchair Quarterback Sports Flash. Stay tuned for Braves Country right here on WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key in Noonan, Georgia, simulcasting on youtube.com at Braves Country.
Armchair.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and flat out deceived.
Why did you get so drunk?
You got drunk. I'm just really exhausted.
What's in that cup?
Rum and Cokes.
Do you have any idea how important this is? We're trying to save the pump cup. Really? This is what you're doing?
Chief, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night. Try to take over the world.
106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Armchair.
YouTube Live.
Radio station. The radio station you can call your own. What listeners like about our station?
I like everything. It's always on my radio.
We never stop the music, except for now, when I talk.
You're listening to Braves Country with Mac Magee and the Armchair Quarterbacks. We're here live weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern, WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key. And simulcasting on youtube.com/at Braves Country. Your first choice for Southern sports. Good afternoon. I'm Mac Magee. I don't know much, but I know one thing. The New York Mets are arguably the most consistent best team in all of Major League Baseball.
Armchair.
Losing to the Reds.
Community Access Channel.
Reds.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man. Yeah, the armchair.
Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? The Reds have made it a final. It's official, 5-0 against the New York Mets. They don't just beat the Mets. They beat Kodai Senga, their big free agent signing in the offseason, along with Verlander. They shut them out in a bullpen game. The Reds' bullpen's ranked one of the worst in all of baseball, and they shut them out. Ha! How about that? How about that? Other games going on. Twins lead the Padres 5-3, and White Sox and Royals are actually in a rain delay. They're supposed to get it going. We'll see what happens there. Yankees and Rays, 7:05 first pitch. That's the big game of the day. Starts a 4-game set in the Bronx. Should be a really good series. I'm going to try to catch some of that today. I'm actually going to a minor league baseball game tonight. So me and the wife are heading to the stadium tonight to catch minor league baseball game. She's got kind of a deal with work there tonight, and we're getting free tickets to go schmooze in the I want to say it's in one of the boxes. Anyways, the whole 9 yards is being laid out, so I'm excited to go to that and catch a little live baseball action, a night where the Braves are off. I'm sure I'll be on my phone the whole time checking scores as the Celtics are in a game number 6. I'm just at the point now where if they're going to lose, just end it. Just end it. I'm done with this team, this half-ass, half-hearted team of the Boston Celtics that plays zero defense, plays with very little heart. And I know they were all impressed that this very talented team was winning games back in the regular season. And they gave the automatic contract to the Celtics at the time interim head coach, and now he is the head coach. But I'm at the point now, man, where I'm like, fire him. This is the same exact team that went to the NBA Finals. Probably should have won it last year, but they were, cutting their teeth, so to speak. Their coach gets caught in a scandal of having an affair with a employee with the Boston Celtics. Now it was a mutual affair. It wasn't like something that was any kind of there was no kind of scandal as far as what the nature of the relationship was. But when all that was said and done, they suspended, then they fired him, and they went on to hire, at first it was interim, and then they gave Joe Mazzulla the head coaching job. And I'm not impressed by this guy. The defense lacks. It always seems like that they're getting out-coached. And more than anything else, and maybe it's his temperament or whatever, because he always seems so even-keeled, he doesn't seem like he's all in and wants it as bad as previous coaches that they've had there. And this is the one time of the year that you expect some passion. Instead, there's something to be said for even keel, and I get it, but I want a coach that has a fire, that wants to go out there and win and wears it on his sleeve and sees, and you see it in the team. So we'll see what they do tonight, but I was not, when my wife asked me about this, long story short, I was not going to kill our plans to sit around at home on the couch and watch a game and a team that they've got to show me something. We'll probably get home around the fourth quarter and we'll see where it is at that point. But if you're going to lose, just lose. Be done with it. I can start my summer, because I'm not going to be watching any of the NBA finals of the teams that possibly, maybe if Denver makes it. Denver's kind of a fun story, but the rest of it, it's I'm not going to watch LeBron play. I'm not, if LeBron's in the finals. I kind of like the Jimmy Butler story. I really like the Jimmy Buffett story. But the NBA Finals, to me, it seems like it's going to and if it's James Harden versus LeBron James, I'm out. You can just go ahead and you can just text me who won the championship, because I have zero desire to watch that. But as far as Major League Baseball goes, here's an interesting stat that they're flashing up there on the Mets broadcast. The Mets have been outscored 34-9 in the first inning. And I believe today they were outscored 4-0. I got home in the second inning. It was 4-0. I believe that's what they're referencing that. 34-9. That's a hard hole to climb out of. And what that comes down to is your starting pitching. Now, obviously, your offense isn't doing anything. I shared the stat on last night's game that the Braves and the Tampa Bay Rays have scored more runs than any team in Major League Baseball. Tampa's 1 and Atlanta's 2. And it's by a wide margin. And I don't think it's by any coincidence that those are also the two teams with the best records in all of baseball. So when you see a stat like that, and it's not that teams can't get out of these holes, but you build such a big hole for your team. If your offense isn't scoring, it puts pressure on your starting pitching to feel like that they have to shut it down, right? And then B, the other big thing would be you're putting a lot of pressure on your bullpen to try to hold it when they come in and they're usually in a deficit. And by no shock, when you're getting outscored 34-9 in the first inning, Mets have a losing record. They've lost 2 of 3 in Cincinnati, and the only game they won was a 2-1 win last night because Verlander was on the hill. And you talk about a one-man band right now. Verlander has came out and pitched 2 really good games. Now, granted, most Mets fans will say, we paid this guy $40-something million a year. Of course he's supposed to be this good. And we expected him to be there from the get-go. But he's pitched 2 really good games. He has thrown somewhere around 14 innings, and has given up the 2 earned runs in that first inning in his first outing. And then he gave up 1 run last night. So if you take the first inning away, he has given up 1 run in 11 innings, and they have 1 win to show for it. So Kodai Senga, 5 innings. He settled down, 5 earned runs, 7 Ks. Not a good outing. But at the same token, the offense isn't doing anything for the Mets. I mean, it's doing zilch. The offense has got to get going. If you're a Mets fan, you can complain about the pitching all you want. That offense is atrocious, and I don't know what made them think that offense was going to be any good to begin with. They did nothing to add anything. They just brought the same pieces back that really haven't done anything. I felt like that they overpaid for Brandon Nimmo, and though I am a Nimmo fan, I think he's one of the more consistent, and he plays the game right, and he knows how to – he's a great leadoff hitter. I'll put it that way. He's a solid center fielder. He knows how to go up and work the count, and when he gets on, he's got the speed. He hits for a fairly high average, et cetera, et cetera. Pete Alonso can hit home runs with the best of them. Lindor's incredibly streaky. And that's it. That's all you've got for the Mets offense. You name me one other cog in that engine that you're even remotely concerned about on a daily basis. What are you worried about? Fatback, Vogelback? You worried about his Chubalub getting on base and rolling over into second base? He has to hit the ball over the wall just to get a double. You worried about what? Eduardo Escobar swinging and missing and hacking? You worried about Starlin Marte, who looks like he's a shell of his former self? His numbers are down big time this year. And I've always liked his approach at the plate, but I don't know if it's age or what it is at this stage in his career, but he doesn't look like the same player. And then their left field is just it's a zoo out there. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get from Kanya. He doesn't even know how to pronounce his name. Is it Kanya? Is it Kanya? Is it Kana? Is it Kana? And then you got Tommy Pham and Francisco Alvarez, their catcher, young prospect. He's playing better, but that's not someone that you can rely on. And Jeff McNeil, he's a slap hitter at best. Yeah, he'll get up there and hit for a high average normally. But he's not hitting for a high OPS. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Doug is with us. Steven should be here any moment. And we are going to get into the NFL schedule release. It's here, baby. And we got some baseball to talk about, too. Joey's on the way. Doug's on the way. Steven's on the way. More losses for the Mets are on the way. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country and Braves Country HD YouTube.
He only has 3 rings.
Hockey season, and that means new merch over at OurDragonsMerch.com. Get the latest designs and some of our fun new souvenirs ahead of what's sure to be a great hockey season. Celebrate another season of River Dragons hockey by getting a new look to wear on game days, or surprise the big-time sports fan in your life with a new keepsake that will make them a River Dragons fan for life. Order online right now at OurDragonsMerch.com. That's the letter R, DragonsMerch.com. We'll see you at the rink.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rod Peterson here, host of The Rod Peterson Show, inviting you to join us daily for 2 hours of Atlanta's funnest sports talk right here on WQEE. I say fun because it is. You've never heard a show like it because we make the listeners a part of the show every day between noon and 2 p.m. Eastern. You'll hear plenty of the best sports talk, including the latest on the Falcons, the Braves, and more. And who knows, you might even hear you. That's the Rod Peterson Show, daily at noon, right here on WQEE 99.1 FM.
Le'Veon Bell, he put out a single for people to listen to on Twitter of a rap album that he's really proud of. He asked for people to critique it. Keenan Allen, the receiver of the Chargers, came back with the trash emoji.
Appreciate your honesty.
And what's even better, I can't do it justice because we're on radio, you've got to see the video. The video that he put up. Oh, my God. It's like the most funny and exciting thing I have ever seen because it's like really bad late 80s, early 90s rap video. But anyways, the video is the best part of the whole thing. He's got a hoodie on. It's staged almost like black and white. He's like under a bridge somewhere where there's like a bonfire going.
Hard times.
So like, yeah.
Hard times.
You know, hard times for a guy making millions.
He can relate.
But the funniest part is when he's got the hoodie on, he's doing poses and stuff like that and kind of jiving around. And then this is the funniest part. Out of nowhere, I'm sorry, I can't get it out. He comes up from under the screen. So in other words, like
from the Muppets or something?
Almost like the Muppets.
When you see just the figure just come straight up.
Yes, the kid comes straight up while he's also in the background.
Uh-huh.
It's like the worst thing put together ever. I don't know how to edit a video. We could do better than this. I'm telling you.
Who's the director, Pouncey?
Armchair.
Welcome back to Braves Country. Mac McGee and the Armchair Quarterbacks. Weekdays, 3 to 5 p.m. Drive time on WQEE.
The 60s saw many talented players burst onto the scene in a blaze of glory, only to burn out all too quickly. In 1967, Green Bay rookie Travis Williams, number 23, scored 4 kickoff return touchdowns, an NFL single-season record, but Williams was a flash who became a flash in the pan, as did the Rams' Bucky Pope, a marvelous receiver known as the Catawba Claw. During Pope's 1964 rookie campaign, his average of 31.4 yards per reception was far and away the league's best. He also totaled an NFL-high 10 touchdowns on just 25 receptions. But the Catawba claw eventually withered, and Pope was out of the league by 1968. Greg Cook had skills that seemed like pure dynamite. Yet sadly, Cook was destined to flicker out like a candle in the wind. As a rookie in 1969, Cook demonstrated why the Cincinnati Bengals made him their #1 draft choice. Cook threw for 15 touchdowns and was the AFC's top-rated passer. Few first-year quarterbacks have ever asserted themselves so quickly, but Cook's staying power failed to equal the power in his passing arm.
Greg Cook was I believe, the greatest talent to play the position. He was big, active, had a great arm, and had tremendous instincts. He could play today or at any time in the history of the NFL. He had a shoulder injury that affected his passing arm. Greg was a highly sensitive person, and so consequently it affected him, I think, a little bit psychologically. He had this physical injury that basically ended his career. But while he played, he was the best there was.
Armchair.
Well, if you stand and block the screen, you may just lose your life. And that goes for all 30 friends and 30 friends' wives. Because he's the armchair.
Welcome back.
Full of beer and he's full of snacks.
Schedule release day in the National Football League. And joining us here on Braves Country today is Stevie Wonder. Doug Selfsburg. Doug, how are you, sir?
Doing good.
And of course, we also have Willie Nelson. Stephen Troche. Stephen, how are you? Your most recent trip to Nashville.
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. Nashville was great as always. Always good. Always glad to be there. Nice to finally get inside Titan Stadium, Nissan Stadium. Got to be on the field, and that was pretty fun. But I'm ready for this schedule release.
To go where the Kings lay. I see. All right. Hey, before we get into anything, Stephen, because I know this NFL talk is going to spiral out of control. What do you got in DFS today for us?
Well, so tonight there's only 3 games on the main slate: Yankees and Tampa, Texas, Oakland, and San Fran is in Arizona. Looking right now, Nathan Eovaldi is going to be the most popular pitcher, so that just means I want to get every Oakland hitter I can in all my lineups. They are going to, people are not going to be on them. They are just going to, you're going to see at least 60-70% of lineups with the Eovaldi in there. So go in, you can stack all of your every Oakland player. You can go and pair them with, the roof is actually going to be open tonight in Arizona. So I like both offenses there. In terms of pitching, I like the upside of Drew Rasmussen. And then you can just go with one of the cheaper pitchers in the, San Fran, Arizona game if you want to get a cheap or
is the most expensive one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'd be willing to roll the dice with Cobb, even with the roof being open. Cobb is a ground ball pitcher, and Arizona has not hit him well in the past. So I would think about him, but if he's much cheaper, then obviously I get the Rasmussen. I'll tell you what, I don't think Domingo Germán would be a terrible play.
Yeah, I mean he's the cheapest out of those 4 at 8,300. Rasmussen is 92 and Cobb is 87. I mean, I'm personally leaning Rasmussen and Cobb, but I can definitely see Germán being in play.
I know I don't want any part of Zach Neal.
Nope.
Whatever the hell he is, he's about to get blasted by Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that roof is open in Oakland. So.
There's no roof out there.
Exactly. There's no fans out there. What are your batters that you're looking at tonight? Ooh, someone just got drilled.
I mean, sticking with Oakland. I mean, they're all cheap. 3,800 is the most expensive, and that's Brett Rooker. I mean, give me him and give me Esteury Ruiz at 3,400. They're batting third and first, respectively. Other players I like in that lineup: JJ Bleday has been hot. He's had a couple home runs this week. Shea Langeliers at 3,500. He's batting sixth. And then if we're going to go into, I would probably prefer San Fran in that game. But I would lean the left-handed power hitter. So give me Conforto in that game.
Xander Bogaerts just got drilled in the shoulder.
Ooh. That's not good.
Yeah, he is wincing. He's trying to stretch it out over there at first base, but that could be a miss a game or two and I noticed earlier in the game, I think it was a foul ball that went off his leg. I'm not sure what happened because I didn't see it when it happened. Then I was just catching up. But Juan Soto was limping around.
Ooh,
and
that's not good.
It was bad enough that the trainer had to come out and talk to him. He stayed in the game and he got a base hit, but you do want, I don't know how many times you see this. You see the guys, oh, they're fine. And you let your guard down as a fantasy owner. And the next day you're like, what do you mean he's going on the IL? Or what do you mean he's day to day and you don't see him for like 4 days?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if we want to move on from that, I got something for us today.
Oh Lord.
See if we can, I don't know how easily I will be able to rifle through these, but I'm going to try like hell to do it. Let me see what we have here. So what's the first one that we want? Let's go ahead and hit the, let me see if I can see it. It's much smaller on my screen than on y'all. So let me see if I can hit the first one of interest. One of the things that I was a little disappointed is I couldn't find the picture. There is a rumor that the Atlanta Falcons are going to start the season off at home against the Carolina Panthers, but I couldn't find a cool picture put together like I found on the other ones. So let me go to one of the first ones that I did find. This to me is one of the more intriguing ones. Let's just do this one. Why not? It may not be, there you go. Let me get our logo off the screen. Make it a little better there. So this is New Year's Eve 4:30 game. So this is going to lead into your evening Sunday. New Year's Day this year is on a Monday. And it is going to be 4:25. This is a good one, man. This is a good one. The Bengals and the Chiefs. And I'm assuming it's in Arrowhead because they have Kansas City below, which I would like to know what in the hell does Cincinnati have to do to get a home game against Kansas City? I mean, every time they play, it's in Kansas City. But anyways, that's a hell of a matchup.
Yeah, I mean, like for all we, like at this point, that game's probably going to decide playoff seeding, big time.
You would think that it may very well. Now, the one thing I love about it is that it's so late in the season, you can't come up with excuses. You know, if you go out and you lose week 1 or week 2 and you go, well, we're not the same team. Well, this could decide who has home field advantage.
Yeah.
Doug's, any thoughts?
Yeah, I was just going to say it's definitely going to the whole playoff. The playoffs will hinge on this game on who's seated where. Got all the looks for. And that's another thing you said about the Chiefs. If you look at a lot of the Chiefs' key matchups that we know about so far, the Chiefs have the home field in every single one of them, no matter where they are, whether it be in Week 9 against the Dolphins, Week 16 or 16 against the Raiders. It's that and also the Christmas game that they play with the Raiders are in Kansas City as well. So. I'm not surprised.
I couldn't find it, but have they said whether or not the Christmas game is going to be a night game?
No, I know that the Chiefs Raiders game is a 1:00 game.
Chiefs Raiders is 1:00. Giants Eagles 4:30.
Yeah,
Giants Eagles 4:30. 1:00 is going to be the Raiders game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I assume it's a triple header, and we'll find out tonight what the third game is going to be.
Yeah.
It would be very.
And I like Doug, you mentioned Chiefs getting the home field advantage, but one of those games is in Germany, the Dolphins game. So they're actually losing a home game this year.
That's true, but it just seems like whether they play in Germany or not, they're always seeded as the home team, no matter where they go. That's what just struck me off the top of my head with their schedule.
Here we go with another one. Interesting game. Christmas. You got. That's the 4:30 game on Christmas. It's going to be Giants and Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on that game?
I mean, like if it's anything like last year, that'll be playing a big role in the division again. But That just really depends on how the Cowboys end up this year, because it could be the Cowboys, knocking the Giants off, and the Giants are barely fighting for a wild card. I mean, it's a division game. It's going to draw numbers with the Philly and the Giant and the New York markets. It's going to be a good game, but I don't think not anywhere near the level of Bengals Chiefs next week.
I feel like it's very aggressive to assume that the Giants are going to be in the mix in week 16.
Exactly.
I'm not saying it can't happen, but who the hell saw that coming last year? Nobody, right? Doug, what say you?
Well, what you just said, I mean, that's assuming that the Giants are going to have some kind of regression this season. I mean, if they don't, all three of those teams, they're scheduling, especially the Eagles and the Cowboys, the way they're scheduled, they have some of the most brutal scheduling coming up this season. So I could easily see these three teams knocking each other around all season long. I mean, usually it hasn't happened. I don't think it's happened that you've had back the same team that's won the previous year win the division again next year. I don't think that's happened in a long time in the NFC East. So I don't think we should take anything for assumption with those three teams, especially the way the NFC East always plays.
Now, this one is the most curiouser one of the entire deal.
Yes.
The season starts off with the Lions at the Chiefs. What the hell is that?
Especially without Jammo. It's not like it's not even the Lions at full strength.
Well,
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know if that plays into it much, but
I mean, for me,
I heard someone call in. So there was a caller that I heard on another show early this morning that said they thought it was because if you go back to the final game of the season, Packers versus Lions, it was the highest rated game of the entire year. Well, but that was the final game of the season, and it really had nothing to do with the Lions. It was the fact that the Packers, if they win, they're in.
No, it was that and the fact that it was most likely Aaron Rodgers' last regular season game in a Packers uniform. That's just getting some data and having no idea what you're doing with it.
I don't get it, especially because on their schedule, we just talked about it a second ago, the Bengals, and they also play the Eagles. So typically you would have the Super Bowl rematch or the AFC Championship rematch. Any way you look at it, anything would be a divisional game. Anything would be that is like literally the worst possible team that they could have put on their slate. Other than, I mean, maybe if they play the Bears or something, I get that there's no draw there, but it's not even like Detroit is like the New York or Los Angeles market. I don't get it at all.
Yeah.
And it's one of those games where I bet it's going to be one of the more lower rated season openers in a long, long time. Ever since they've been doing this, the Thursday night game to kick it off, I think this is the worst matchup we've ever seen.
100%.
And it's not even close. Like, you can't even go, what about that one time? No, because even like when they put the Bucks on with the Cowboys and the Cowboys weren't necessarily supposed to be that good, it's still the Dallas Cowboys, right? You got the fan base, you got the hatred, you got the love for them. This is just an odd one. No, go ahead.
I would just the only reason that maybe they put this game together like this is the assumption that the Detroit Lions are this up and coming powerhouse team with all the moves they made, and maybe they were just
saying they're not.
I'm saying it's just an assumption. I'm not saying they are or they aren't. I mean, I think we'll find out. We'll find out in that game right away whether the Lions are much improved or not with all the moves they've made in the offseason. I'm just saying there are people out there that think that the Detroit Lions are a lot better than people give them credit for. So let's put them in week one and see what they do against the Super Bowl champs. That may be part of the motivation behind it. But other than that, no, it's a terrible setup. It's a terrible game.
Yeah.
Anybody getting up early on November 12th to watch Patriots Colts in Deutschland?
No,
That's a dud. I mean, that's a dud.
Like, that game's so bad, I probably wouldn't even play DFS on it.
I mean, we're
That's
talking
saying something.
about November. Patriots and Colts might both be mathematically eliminated.
You're not wrong.
That's a dud. And I haven't looked at the college football schedule, but God forbid that like is the morning after Florida, Georgia or something. Oh, there's no way I'm getting up, man. It's just not going to happen.
Miami FSU's the day before.
What's that?
Miami FSU is November 11th.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's and that'll most likely be a night game. I can't imagine that they're going to put that on. Well, I don't know.
Depends how bad either one of us are.
Yeah.
Most likely us.
It could be on C-SPAN 9 a.m. It could. Hey, by the way, have y'all seen this? That what is his name? The guy that started with wrestling and now he's the big shoot. His name's escaping me. The McAfee. Did you see that McAfee is in talks with going to ESPN and getting out of his deal with DraftKings or whatnot? The one that was supposed to pay him like $120 million, whatever's to get
a FanDuel deal, yeah.
To go to ESPN full time.
Ooh. I mean, if there's, I didn't see that, but I mean, if there's any company that has the resources to do it, it's Disney.
Well, not according to their last report. They're in the tank. In fact, there's talk. It's really strange that this news came out in the midst of there being heavy rumors that there's going to be massive cuts. Now, obviously, one isn't connected to the other. If you fire Mina Kimes because nobody cares what she has to say, it's got nothing to do with bringing on Pat McAfee. But it's an interesting situation that I guess they're going to bring him on for a daily show, I believe, but it's going to be like an hour or so. And then he'll still have his other stuff on his other entities.
But I can see why they're bringing him on because he's had a lot of success with his podcast and also his.
I'm not surprised they want to bring him on. I'm surprised that he wants to walk away from all the creative control because look, if you go over to Disney ESPN and sign a deal like that, it's not going to be up to you what you talk about. They're going to tell you what you're going to talk about.
Well, they might give him some creative control because since he's popular for being as blunt as he is, whether it be on his podcast or YouTube or whatever, I think they may be bringing on because remember, Disney gets in a lot of trouble for all their different shows and stuff because of, the woke stuff that they do. They may be bringing him on just because, the average everyday Joe likes him as much as they do. So they bring him on and they give him a little bit of freedom to say what he wants to say to try to get viewers back.
They might sell him that, but I don't think that's what it'll be when it's all said and done. I think what you're going to end up with is they're going to have creative control over, because if it was anything different, then every one of their shows wouldn't have the same 3 topics all day long. The other thing is they're going to put you through the car wash. If they pay him big money, he's going to be put through the car wash, meaning he'll have to do his show, but he'll also be expected to show up on you name the show and give his spiel. He'll be on First Take. He'll be on what is the other one called? Get Up, all that kind of stuff. I just thought it was interesting because he had such a lucrative deal, and then all of a sudden he's willing to give that up. You wonder if the deal was as good as it was first reported, or if that might have been a bunch of BS.
Yeah.
Because if they come and they say, hey, we're going to give you, we'll say Disney comes to us and say, we're going to give you $100,000 a year to do the show. That sounds great, right? But that's not just for you. That's to pay every single person on your staff. Then it's totally different. So the original amount may have nothing to do with what he is actually going in his pocket. I just found it interesting. I don't dislike it or like it. I don't have much of a take on McAfee. He's just kind of there. But I found it interesting that he'd be willing to walk away from all that creative control and become a yes man, because he doesn't seem like the yes man. He seems more like the man. Like, no, man, I'm good. We're going to want you to talk about LeBron James today. I couldn't hear you, man. Something was breaking up. We're going to go ahead and talk to Aaron Rodgers for 45 minutes, okay? All right. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to finish with some of these other games. A lot of games being leaked as we head up to the schedule release here on the NFL release day. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country today.
If you're making sandwiches, always leave the knife hanging over the sink in case you want one later. Be a man.
I'm 7-0 this season. You auto-drafted. That's what all the great GMs do. They delegate. You didn't do anything. Yeah, I did. I set the cue.
Without fantasy football, what would friends talk about?
I almost wore shorts today. Oh. I was going to do a sweatshirt shorts combo. Switched to pants instead.
Armchair.
Hey, sports fans, the Key has a brand new show. Braves Country is coming your way weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. Drive time on WQEE. Braves Country is a Southern sports talk show with Magee and the Armchair quarterbacks. We'll be talking the Atlanta Braves and Major League Baseball, along with everything important to sports fans in Braves Country. The SEC, ACC, Big Ten, and the National Football League, and the big sports news of the day. That's Braves Country with Magee and the Armchair quarterbacks. Weekdays, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. right here on WQEE, The Key, 99.1 FM, and simulcasting on youtube.com/@Braves Country.
Make contact. A collective psychosis is sweeping the nation. We're in the thick of the haze craze, and Elysian is introducing an altered state of IPA. Contact Haze is a tangled chemistry of mild haze, low bitterness, and an explosion of hop aroma. This hazy IPA bursts with notes of bright raspberry, currant, citrus, guava, and passion fruit. Available in 6-pack cans in stores. Make contact.
Welcome back to Braves Country. Magee and the Armchair quarterbacks, weekdays 3 to 5 p.m. Drive time on WQEE.
Bones of dinosaurs and everything else, but we haven't found bones that I've heard of Bigfoot.
Welcome back. We shall see. We shall see. Joey's chiming in saying that he's hobnobbing on McAfee all the time, and he's not moving to ESPN. It sounds like he is moving to ESPN. The thing is, it sounds like he's going to keep his show, but an hour or maybe even 2 hours is going to be broadcasted on ESPN. So we'll see what happens. They still got a long way to go. As far as Brett Favre dropping his lawsuit, he never had a freaking lawsuit to stand on. I mean, he was just out there firing lawsuits at everybody. You get a lawsuit. You get a lawsuit. All because they were calling him out for being dirty. Twins hold on and beat the Padres 5-3. Cha-ching, cha-ching. I had an early parlay of Reds and Twins plus 1.5, so that covered.
Nice.
Let's get into this one. Monday Night Football. I found this one a little intriguing, and I'll tell you why I think they made a big mistake. Look at this game. Look at the date on that game. You see the date?
Mm-hmm.
Opening weekend. Monday.
Mm-hmm. Right.
September 11th, 9/11. The Jets play the Giants this year.
Yeah.
That would have been a perfect night to put Jets Giants on Monday night. 9/11.
Yeah,
And
completely
instead,
agree.
I mean, I guess they're going to try and sell it. Well, it's 2 New York teams. Buffalo's not New York. Buffalo's South Canada.
Basically.
Buffalo was not affected by 9/11 the way the Jets and the Giants were, right? No slam against Buffalo. Don't freak out and start mailing me your chicken wings. If you do, just make sure the sauce is on the side. But the NFL screwed this one up. I think what they're thinking is Josh Allen versus Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have liked to have seen New York versus New York. Plus, there would have been so much intrigue going into that game because I think it sounds like Steven's in the same boat that I'm in. We'll see what Doug thinks. But I'm on the fence on whether or not the Giants can do it again.
I think they can definitely be in the wild card hunt.
But you wouldn't bet on it at this point, right?
To win the division or just to make the playoffs?
Just to make the playoffs. Would you lay your money in Vegas, Giants to win the division or Giants to make the playoffs?
Only if it was like plus 1,000 or odds or more.
It's not going to be that high.
Then no.
If it was like even money,
nope,
or plus 150 or somewhere in that neighborhood,
absolutely would not.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Doug?
No, I wouldn't either. Not at all.
I wouldn't when you consider the fact that every year, what is it? Now we get 14 teams, but when you had 12 teams, it was always like every year there were 6 to 8 teams that were in the playoffs that weren't in the playoffs the year before. I'm not taking the bet that the Giants are going to be in it. What did they really do in the offseason that wows you?
I couldn't tell you.
I couldn't even fathom a guess on that one.
The next one is, here we go. I know Steven will have something to say about this one. Bing, bing, bong. Bing, bong. Black Friday, 3 Eastern, Amazon Prime.
I mean,
Jets at home against Miami.
I mean, it's just for once, it's it's nice to have the Dolphins getting one of these weird games and it not being a home game that we're messing up. I mean, it's weird that it's on a Friday, but I'd rather just mess with a Jets home game than a Dolphins home game. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I don't know. I know doing the game on a Friday is purely a money grab, but
is it weird that it's 3:00 on a Black Friday, like as opposed to like a night game?
Yeah, I think they're guessing that most of America is going to be just sleepy after all the turkey and booze, and they'll be sleeping in, and once they're ready, and I mean it should have been more of a 1:00 game, honestly, but I think it's a weird time, but most people have the day off. They're going to be at home. It's not the worst thing. Still gives people the night to enjoy.
Well, having it on Black Friday at 3:30, you're kind of guaranteed that both people on both coasts are going to be tuned in, roughly doing the same thing because of the time switch between the two. I think they're gambling that kind of the whole country would be, if they're watching, are going to be focused at the same time. It's not, it's not a night game on the East Coast, and it's not it's not too early for a 1:00 game on the West Coast. So I think that's why they put it where they put it.
I'll tell you what I don't like about it more than anything else is that traditionally Black Friday was college football.
Yeah.
And even though some of the games weren't all that great, that was okay because that was kind of part of the deal. You ate some leftover turkey and you watched Nebraska and Iowa kick the ball around.
No, I mean, like that. Isn't that a rivalry weekend?
It's rivalry weekend, but typically that Friday you didn't have it. Now last year, the Florida State-Florida game was on Friday night. But I just looked it up this year. It looks like it's still going to be now. I think they changed
Saturday
date late in the game, like in the middle of the summer, so they might do that again. But this year, it looks like it's going to be on that Saturday in Gainesville.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
seeing
it's on
too.
Friday in Tallahassee. And I felt like that they hit a home run doing that and that both teams should do it. The only thing that might be holding that up is that with it being in Gainesville, is there something going on with the television contracts that the Florida has to play on Saturday and not Friday? Because I don't know. I was trying to pull up, but I couldn't find a good answer of what are the games this year on Black Friday, because when you look at, see, that's,
give me 2 seconds.
I'm trying to find it as far as like what is the, I guess it'd be considered week. No, that's not week 15. That's week 13. Week 13. The games on that Friday right now, if it doesn't get changed, is like I said, Iowa, Nebraska. They always play each other. Miami, Boston College are playing.
TCU,
Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Texas.
That's about it.
And there's no times put on. I'd say one of those games, the TCU or the Texas game, one of those games will be the night game, right?
I don't know. Oregon State.
That's probably going to be a late kickoff. Iowa, Nebraska is always like the early game. It's always a weird time too. It's like 1:15 or something. It's just it's like not even a normal kickoff. I'd say Miami, Boston College will probably be mid-afternoon, I would guess.
Yeah, I mean
ESPN. Well, but won't that be a kicker to whoever plays the 3:30 game if you're going up against an NFL game, right?
I don't know if I don't think they'll put the Hurricanes and Dolphins playing at the same time. Do they really want to fight for that market?
I don't know. I don't know if it's the same fan market, to be honest with you, because you're talking about
it is.
NFL.
I grew up down there. It is 100%.
Yeah, but I'm talking about. Well, first of all, the fan base down there is much more Miami Dolphin than it is Hurricanes, especially this time around.
Well, yeah,
and it's a road game, so both of them are road games, so you're not talking about if the fans are going to go to the game.
True.
I don't think they'll even have that in play. What they'll have in play from ESPN's standpoint is what game is going to be most popular. That's the game we're going to put on at 3:30, and the second most popular game they're going to put on at 7 or 8.
I could honestly see it's going to be.
I mean, Miami Boston College could be the early kick. It could be like a noon 1 o'clock kick, but I don't like the idea of them starting to do a Black Friday game because I just think it's a bad idea.
Knowing how they usually do things, I feel like it's gonna be one of TCU, Oklahoma, and Texas Tech, Texas. Like those are gonna be the 3:30 and the set like night games. I just don't know which one's gonna be which.
If I was to guess, I'd say TCU, Oklahoma is gonna end up being that night game. Texas Tech, Texas is gonna be the mid-afternoon game. Just because there's a more likelihood that TCU is relevant.
Yeah.
But, I mean, none of them have the cachet that FSU Florida had from last year. But that was a fun – I mean, look, even if you're not a fan of either one of those, that was a fun game to have on a Friday night on Black Friday. And I would just hate the idea that the NFL, if they get any kind of traction with this, next thing you know, they're doing a doubleheader on Black Friday. They don't have to have the whole damn Thanksgiving weekend. They've already got a triple header on Thursday. You know they're going to have games on Sunday. Let college football breathe on rivalry weekend. And Miami Boston College, by the way, that should be that should be the rivalry weekend. Because they don't have a true, quote unquote rivalry to play because Miami can't play Florida State or Florida. They're playing each other. maybe it's the nostalgia of the Doug Flutie game, but that would be a great rivalry to just start up as rivalry weekend.
I mean, is Boston College any good this year? They're going to be any good?
I mean, is Miami going to be any good?
Well, we're not talking about us, okay?
I think the answer is the same. I'm just saying that Miami versus Boston College would be a good one to start. Iowa, Nebraska, they play every damn Black Friday. They're not any good. But you start the rivalry. I'm just saying it's better than sometimes you get Miami's playing some weird-ass teams on the final weekend. Boston College, as far as I know, they don't have another team that they line up with typically on rivalry weekend. Start the rivalry.
True.
Someone go out there and do something Baker Mayfield like and throw something in the middle of the field.
I mean, for me, I'm just confused why they're not putting, Tennessee Vanderbilt or Georgia Tech on that Friday. Got some real barn burners there.
Well, because no one has the cachet and lure of Miami versus Boston College. That's why. Steven, what is your walk-off for the day?
2 bets I like for tonight. San Fran and Arizona, that game total over 9.5 runs. And then the Oakland A's, their over-under run total is 3 runs. I'm going the over -115 for the Oakland A's and then -110 for the Giants Diamondbacks game.
All right, Doug, what's your walk-off, sir?
The race this weekend at Darlington. Bring your patience and bring plenty of tires because the Lady in Black takes her victims every year.
Yep.
What time is that race?
I think that's under the lights. I think it starts. I think that's a 3:30.
It's a 3:30 game. What are they doing racing on Mother's Day? I didn't think they did that anymore.
I didn't think they did it. This is actually the first time I've ever seen them do it.
The whole operation is going to hell. They're racing on Mother's Day. They're racing on Easter. Next thing you know, NASCAR is going to hold their championship on Christmas. The hell? Come on.
Yep, 3
All right, we got to take
our time.
Great job, guys. We'll see you next week. And Joey's on the way, and he'll give us the tongue bathing of Pat McAfee. We'll be back in a flash. You're listening to WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key in Noonan, Georgia.
Armchair. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Sports Radio, #1 sports station.
Good afternoon. And this is your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. Major League Baseball, pretty decent slate here on a Thursday, getaway day for most teams. Mets and Reds began at 12:35 Eastern. Senga versus Law. At 1:10, it was Padres versus Twins. Yu Darvish on the bump versus Bailey Ober. The Chicago White Sox at 2:10 versus the Kansas City Royals. Clevenger versus Brady Singer. We'll keep you up to date on all the scores all throughout Braves country today. Keep it locked in. Tonight in Major League Baseball on MLB Network, the Rays are at the Yankees, starting a 4-game set. Rasmussen versus Domingo Germán. Giants and Diamondbacks begin a 4-game set as well. Alex Cobb, 2-1 with a 2.01 ERA versus Thomas Henry, 1-0 with a 5.17. The Texas Rangers are in Oakland to face the A's. Nathan Eovaldi will take the hill for Texas, 4-2 with a 3.22 ERA. Got a doubleheader in the NBA playoffs tonight. Boston Celtics are at the Philadelphia 76ers. It's an elimination game as the Philadelphia 76ers try to knock out their arch rival up 3-2. If there is a Game 7, it will be Sunday. 10 o'clock Eastern, same situation as the Suns. They are at home trying to stave off elimination. Nuggets up 3-2. A Game 7 would also be on Sunday afternoon. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, doubleheader on TNT. Devils down 3-1 to the Hurricanes. Game number 5 in Carolina. 7 o'clock, the puck drops. And at 9:30, the Kraken are at the Stars. Series all knotted up at 2 apiece. Game number 5 is in Dallas. Women's college softball, the ACC and SEC tournaments going all day long. 11 o'clock Eastern, the number 21 Gators are up against Kentucky, while number 3 Florida State plays Syracuse. At 2 o'clock Eastern, SEC Network, Ole Miss versus Auburn. The Tigers, number 15 in the land. Georgia Tech and Duke, 5 o'clock Eastern on ACC Network. The Blue Devils are number 9. The Georgia Bulldogs, number 11, they'll take on South Carolina. 5 o'clock SEC Network. Middle Tennessee State, 6 p.m. Eastern on the Plus. Clemson, North Carolina, 7:30 ACC Network. The Tigers, number 10 in the country. While the Arkansas Razorbacks are on at 8 o'clock on SEC Network. And if you're up for the late tilt, number 6 Stanford versus number 18 Oregon, 9:30 Eastern, Pac-12 tournament. West Virginia head basketball coach Bob Huggins will return to the sideline next season in the wake of using the anti-gay slur in a radio interview earlier this week. Huggins has agreed to a $1 million salary reduction, 3-game suspension, and sensitivity training. Huggins' suspension will take place during the Mountaineers' first 3 regular season games, and his contract will amend from a multi-year to a year-by-year pact that will begin May 10th, 2023 and end April of 2024. Huggins' amended salary reductions takes it from $4.2 to $3.2 million. The $1 million salary reduction is believed to be one of the biggest in college athletics. The school said it will partner with the University LGBTQ+ Center to develop annual training sessions that will address all aspects of inequality. Huggins, 69 years old, will be required to meet with leadership from the university's Truth Center, quote, to better understand the mental health crisis facing our college students, unquote. The $1 million reduction will go to the LGBTQ Center. And the USC Trojans, who had already landed Bronny James, son of LA Lakers superstar LeBron James, now have DJ Rodman, which was announced on social media that he's transferring to USC. The son of NBA rebounding great Dennis Rodman played the last 4 seasons at Washington State. The 6'6" power forward averaged 9.6 points, 5.8 rebounds, while starting 30 of 31 games for the Cougars last season. Rodman will take advantage of an NCAA rule allowing an extra year of eligibility because of COVID-19 pandemic. The Trojans have already signed guard Isaiah Collier and forward Arrington Page. They'll join returning starters Boogie Ellis, Kobe Johnson, and Joshua Morgan. And that's your Armchair Quarterback Sports Flash. Stay tuned for Braves Country right here on WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key in Newnan, Georgia, simulcasting on youtube.com at Braves Country.
It's the best in sports and entertainment, and get locked in and locked down with Rhino Radio Penitentiary, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. with your host, me, Ryan O'Neill, each and every morning, right here with the best in sports and entertainment, all the way from professional sports to college sports to River Dragons hockey and everything in between, including some of the very best local and national guests. It's the Rhino Radio Penitentiary, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday through Fridays, right here on 99.1 FM WQEE.
Are you looking for a reliable dental practice that not only cares about your teeth, but is friendly to work with? How about one that offers great deals and new patient promotions? Well, your search is over. Most Valuable Smiles in downtown Eatonton, Georgia is committed to giving you the biggest and brightest smile. Right now, get a $99 new patient special, including x-rays and exam. Maybe you're looking for veneers. Most Valuable Smiles veneer special includes 1 free veneer with every 5 purchased. Or get that bright white smile you've always wanted by taking advantage of an exclusive $100 off Zoom whitening treatment when you book today. And don't forget that 2022 is almost over. That means most insurance policies will reset by the new year, and to avoid losing that extra money, you need to use it or lose it. Book an appointment today with Most Valuable Smiles in downtown Eatonton to lock in these exclusive deals. Call 706-623-0318 or visit mostvaluablesmiles.com.
Braves Country Today. We're talking Southern sports. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Braves Country Today, Southern sports talk with the voice of Braves Country baseball, Magee. Joined every day from sports analysts from all over Braves Country, talking college football, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and what's trending in the world of sports. Braves Country Today. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE.
If I could change anything about basketball, it'd be to get rid of the X Games.
Welcome back to Braves Country. Magee and the Armchair Quarterbacks, weekdays, 3 to 5 p.m., drive time on WQEE. Braves are off, but they gained a half game on the Mets because the Mets suck. They lost to the Reds. How about that? Got blanked by the Reds. How about that? In a bullpen game from the Reds. How about that? They got shut out by the Reds bullpen in the Great American Small Park. How about that? How are you, Mr. Joey?
Well, how about all that? Woo! What a start to the day. Even with an off day, it's a good day to be a Chop On Braves fan. But a lot of good stuff. MLB, I'm looking at early. I'm looking at the NBA tonight, and then I just keep looking for leaks in the Colts schedule as I like to plan my path to the season ahead. So it's going to be a fun day overall.
You're always saying that you and your dad and your brother make plans depending on the schedule?
Yes, sir.
What time are y'all departing for Germany for the November 12th game?
People keep telling me to go there, and I'm like, listen, I could easily do that trip if I really wanted to, but that takes a lot of time and effort. And don't get me wrong.
A lot of money.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Between time, effort, and money, you can't just go down there for a couple days. The flight would be super expensive.
Takes a lot of give a damn too, right? Yeah. Takes a lot. I don't know if I give a much of a damn of enough to go all the way over to Germany to watch a football game.
Yeah, and on top of all of that, you don't know if you go down there and your team loses, it really stinks. And obviously, the Colts it's more of a fun year for this franchise with Anthony Richardson. Now it's not about winning divisions and going down that road. So I'm looking to
hope it's fun. You hope it's not. What the hell did we draft?
The only thing I do like about it all is, hey, if it doesn't work out and he really has a combustible year, you could always look at the next year's draft, or you could try it year 2. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what goes down. But that being said, we should get a week 1 win if this Jaguars at Colts game is week 1.
I hate to break it to you, no matter how bad he is, you're stuck with him for at least 2 seasons, probably at least 3. There's no way that you go back-to-back years using a top 5 draft pick for a quarterback. So you've made the bed, so to speak. It's just like Will Levis. There's a very, very highly unlikely chance that Will Levis getting drafted by Tennessee would mean that they would go after a quarterback next year. It would have to be something extraordinary circumstance.
Right. And I mean, Richardson, out of all these quarterbacks, they all say has the highest ceiling, but they also say it takes the most time to get acclimated to the NFL. So, I mean, we're not going to know.
He's got the highest ceiling, but he also has the lowest floor.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you look at a guy like Justin Fields, yeah, he had a fun year last year, but that was all running the football. This year now, Justin Fields is going to have to put his big boy pants on and get the arm under control, and we'll see what the Bears can do. This is all about Anthony Richardson and growing. I don't expect any decisions to really be made, and like I said, I'm just trying to have fun with it. Hopefully no injuries, no combustion by him, but for the AFC South, besides Jacksonville, it's all about learning this season.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Tennessee, I'll give a little bit of a puncher's chance because they still got King Henry. And when you got Derrick Henry, and even though people don't like Ryan Tannehill, I mean, people do have to remember this Titans team went to the number 1 seed. Even though they choked in the playoffs, they get a 1 seed 2 years ago.
How about that? Week 4, October 1st?
What do you think about the Jaguars having back-to-back
Jaguars,
games?
Wembley Stadium. Let's go. I'll meet you there.
I was going to say who's driving, but we couldn't even do that.
We'll get WQEE to foot the bill.
Thank you.
Come on, man. We're covering the Falcons. Let's go.
I knew there'd be a huge payoff to Atlanta. Let's go.
I like that, though. You got here's the crazy thing. That's the first of back-to-back weeks for the Jaguars over across the pond. So they're just going to stay over there.
I was going to say, you might as well knock it out for the Jaguars, right? If they're going to make them do it twice, get it done in a week and a half or something.
They're going there, and then let me see if I've got the other one. Here it is. The next week, October 8th, in Tottenham Stadium, so still in England, but two different stadiums, Jaguars, Bills. I'm going to make a bold prediction. Jacksonville wins both games over in England. I don't know who Buffalo plays the week before, but that's not a part of my thought process. I think Jacksonville, first of all, they play over there every year, so they already have a pretty good idea of what to expect, but they're going to get an entire week to be right there and get prepared while Buffalo has to deal with going through customs, et cetera, et cetera. And I think it'll take a toll, and it's a 9:30 kickoff. Less jet lag for Jacksonville, right? Bold prediction. In fact, if you can get a line on it right now, take the Jaguars on the money line against Buffalo.
I remember when Buffalo was at Jacksonville during the short tenure of I just forgot their old coach's name, obviously, but they won like 15-12 against Buffalo. I remember a couple seasons ago in Jacksonville.
And hey, we've got it in print. Ryan just sent to us sure, so we're in.
Sure? So you're saying there's a chance?
Baby, you're saying there's a chance. Let's go.
All chips in. Oh man.
We'll get the whole crew over there. Jags versus Falcons. I'll be honest with you. I give Atlanta a better chance of beating Jacksonville than I do Buffalo.
I was going to say my bold prediction is the Jacksonville loses to Atlanta and beats Buffalo.
Any way you look at it, I would take Jacksonville on the money line right now against Buffalo. She'd probably get a heck of a deal. And they're not going to be thinking about the fact that Jacksonville is going to be sitting there waiting for Buffalo. Buffalo's got to go through customs. There's going to be the jet lag. No matter how you look at it, it's still 9:30 in the morning to your body when you've only been there a couple of days. Huh?
Hey, I mean, like I said, I saw them beat Josh Allen before, so I think they can do it again. Did you see that? I don't know how true it is, but the only Colts leak I was able to find so far was Jacksonville at Indianapolis week 1.
I do know I just saw that November 20th. I haven't found a picture for it that's been put together.
Okay.
But November 20th, Monday Night Football. You ready for this one? Chiefs, Eagles.
Oh, wow.
How did they get that game? How did ABC, ESPN, Disney, how did Monday Night Football get that game? It's a rematch of the Super Bowl. That's normally Sunday Night Football, or
maybe the rights switched around. Maybe they got lucky with the pick. I don't know, but that's
4:30 window. That's wild that they got that game. Here we go. This is Sunday Night Football. Or no, Sunday Morning Football over in Tottenham. So I guess this will be the week after the Jaguars and Bills, and 2 weeks after Falcons Jaguars. Week 6, Baltimore versus Tennessee, 9:30 in the morning, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
A lot of running in that one.
Yes. That's what I was going to say a second ago, is that you might be excited about your new quarterback, or you might look up and go, the hell did we draft? What is this Malik Willis doing? What did we do? Are we just giving picks away? What's going on here?
Titans are going to have Malik Willis, Derrick Henry, and Will Levis all in the same backfield.
Yeah, and I can guarantee you who's not touching the ball.
Will Levis.
Malik Willis is going to be a flat-out decoy.
Do you think that whole thing, with getting a starting chance in Tennessee just scratches away with Levis, or he'll truly get a chance to compete again ever to start?
Who's that?
Malik Willis. Is his days of trying to be a starter with Tennessee over?
Yeah, I think he's essentially done. And I don't know if he's ever going to turn into a starter in the NFL.
I agree.
I think he did himself a disservice by leaving college early. When you got to see him play, you realize he was kind of out of his league, right?
Yep.
And he seems like a guy that best case scenario ends up on the practice squad, or maybe you're going to see him resurface in the USFL, the CFL. He seems like a guy that might be able to flourish in the CFL because of the wide dimensions. Because they have a much wider football field and his speed, but if I'm him during the offseason, I'm seeing if I might be talented enough to be able to go out there and punt return or something, because he looked bad.
Oof.
When you sign Dobbs off the street the week before a division championship game is essentially what they were playing. That's
very telling. That's
yeah.
I mean, that's
on the wall.
Yeah, I remember when I saw that news, I'm like, this can't be real that the Titans are starting this Dobbs guy in a win or go home. But sure enough, when you're down to Malik Willis as your choice, he'll do a lot of things, apparently.
Does this game do anything for you Christmas Day?
I'm going to be straight honest with you. Not really. I think the NFC East, I know everyone going back in the day, if you look at, America's Day with the Cowboys, everyone was big gung-ho over these rivalries. This game, yes, of course, I'll watch every game, but I'm not getting juiced that overly juiced for it.
I think I said this the first hour, I think they're being very aggressive, assuming that this game is going to be relevant in Week 16, Giants versus Eagles. Look, it might work out. It might work out.
Maybe.
But it could end up, what was that awful game that we got on Christmas Day last year? Was it Rams Seahawks or It was Rams somebody. Rams Cardinals. It was Rams somebody, because Rams beat the crap out of someone they weren't supposed to beat and beat them like a drum. They got lucky because
it was the Broncos. It was the Broncos.
Dolphins. That's what it was. Rams Broncos. Yeah, it was terrible.
I remember it was on the Nickelodeon Splash game.
That's what this is going to be on.
Oh.
This is the Nickelodeon game. The early game is Las Vegas, Kansas City that day. And I don't think we know what the night game is going to be yet. Last year we got lucky because the first game was the best game, Green Bay versus Miami.
Yep, remember
that ended up being a pretty decent ball game. I don't even remember what the late game was. I don't even remember if I watched it. I think it was a dud.
Arizona, Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch that. Snore.
I only remember that because of Tampa Tones.
Yeah, I know why you remembered it, because everyone had to be in shut up mode by 7 p.m. Eastern, right?
Are the presents over yet?
Christmas is over. Shut up and sit down.
Grandma's gotta go.
And if you look up here on the wall, I have shared the iPad with the game stats. All All right, let's take a quick break. It's 420. Smoke them if you got them. We'll be back in a flash.
Been all over the world, beat them all. And it's hard to believe, isn't it? Really hard to believe that so much man could be wrapped in such a good-looking package.
Hey, sports fans. The Key has a brand new show. Braves Country is coming your way weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. Drive time on WQEE. Braves Country is a Southern sports talk show with Magee and the Armchair quarterbacks. We'll be talking the Atlanta Braves and Major League Baseball, along with everything important to sports fans in Braves Country. The SEC, ACC, Big Ten, and the National Football League, and the big sports news of the day. That's Braves Country with Magee and the Armchair quarterbacks. Weekdays, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. right here on WQEE, The Key, 99.1 FM, and simulcasting on youtube.com/@Braves Country.
Hey, y'all, I'm Mac McGee, and you don't want to miss as we covered the entire NFL on Armchair Quarterback Radio.
12-0 Chicago Bears. If they could go all the way, they would be 19-0. The last undefeated team in pro football history, these Miami Dolphins. 72, 14-0 regular season. After the Super Bowl, they were 17-0 for a third down and 6. Cooper, Moore, and Clayton. Out of the way. Into the arms of Clayton. Oh, and are things going right for the Dolphins tonight? 42-yard touchdown, batted into the air at the line of scrimmage. This is vintage Monday Night Football. Final seconds ticking off. Bears will not go undefeated. What a victory for the Dolphins. And Dan Marino reigns supreme once again.
Welcome back to Braves Country. Magee and the Armchair quarterbacks, weekdays, 3 to 5 p.m. Drive time on WQEE. Welcome back. Kansas City leads the White Sox 3-1. JBJ of the Royals, formerly of the Red Sox, and I think he played for the Dodgers as well, a couple other teams. He just made a running basket catch that looked incredibly awkward and incorrect. And I was about to say, who the hell's playing center field? And then I realized it's the Gold Glover out there. So you just kind of go, all right, you do you. It was like a really strange basket catch that you feel like he should have caught it like this. And instead he was all right. All awkward and everything. And just about the time you're about to go, I could have done better. You go, never mind, that's JBJ. No, I couldn't have done better.
That's the White Sox season in a nutshell right there. A bunch of weird stuff happening, and most of it not good for them.
Let's be honest. That ball comes at one of us. We're probably just, closing our eyes and sticking the glove out, hoping it hits.
I'm putting my glove up in one hand, my hat in the other. See if one of them catches it.
It's probably going to go straight down for a base hit because I'm probably going to be standing there going, man, this is really cool standing out here. Would you get the ball? Man, you're gonna ruin my daydream.
Get it.
Hitting balls to me and everything. I didn't sign up for that. I just wanted to stand out here.
I see
in the corner.
I see up on your screen right now. I know. Remember when you were saying how Aaron Rodgers and the Jets were going to get all these dang games? I already have seen the Jets in like multiple primetime games. Jeez.
There's they can be in 6.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing. Supposedly that the Black Friday game doesn't count as a primetime game.
What?
Because it's 3:00. So supposedly it is a standalone game, but it's not a primetime game. So supposedly they could end up with 6 primetimes along. So 7 standalone games.
Oh man, the pressure keeps mounting on that.
Good.
Yeah, I was gonna say Aaron Rodgers better be MVP level.
If we get to Black Friday and they're like 2-11, you have some splaining to do. I still think they dropped the ball. Talk about this the first hour. Jets, Giants, week 1, 9/11, Monday Night Football, they dropped the ball. That was a perfect setup. I don't understand why they didn't go there.
Yeah, for real. You want to talk about it?
I think the rumor I heard they're going to put them on some random 1 o'clock game in October. Jets and Giants only play each other like once every 4 or 5 years, right? No, once every 7.
No, you're right. It once up because you play every NFC division.
Yes, so it's once every 4 years.
Correct.
How often is it going to land on 9/11? You got to take advantage. And I don't think it would have been tasteless or too on the nose to say, "Oh, you can't put 2 New York teams on 9." No, man, it's a remembrance. Everyone will do a moment of silence. They'll do it right. And then you have the game. And it's week 1 where everyone still believes the Jets and Giants have a chance.
Isn't that all they can ask for? I mean, come on.
You kick that thing down the road. You kick that can down the road to week 12 or something. One of those teams might be already on the clock. So I was pretty disappointed by that one.
I could not agree more. You set it up perfectly on a tee.
You know, and they're going to sit there and try and tell you that, oh, well, it's a big deal because it's a division game and it's Josh Allen and blah. Yeah, but you could do that anytime. That just feels like a Sunday afternoon game. What about this one?
Yeah, you could put. Yeah.
What in God's name are they doing putting the Lions on a season opener?
So when I heard this morning on the radio, I was coming in on my way to work, and I thought I heard it wrong at first. And then I go to social media, and it's blowing up. Hey, with all due respect, do I think highly of Detroit? I don't know about highly. I think they're entertaining, but I don't know if they're worthy of be putting on this spot. Chiefs have plenty of opponents you could have lined up in the AFC.
Yeah, so when you consider that Chiefs-Eagles is a Monday night game and this is your NFL kickoff, it's disappointing. Chiefs-Eagles is a random Monday night game in November. So you had the rematch of the Super Bowl as an option. You had the rematch of Bengals Chiefs as an option. AFC Championship rematch.
They just must figure that people are going to have it on no matter what, because I can't really think of a reason why you would put Detroit.
I think that's exactly what it is. I think that it's a Teflon Don, just feeling that they can do whatever they want and good times are going to flow. And look, a lot of people will watch it because it's the NFL, it's the kickoff, and usually the college football slate is terrible on that Thursday night. But if there's a decent college football game, I'm watching that over this. I mean, this is terrible.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, I don't care what the spread is. I think Chiefs could win by 21 in that game. Playing off that emotion of the Super Bowl. Whew.
So then we get, speaking of what we were just talking about, the Black Friday game. Once again, I don't like the idea that they're playing on Friday.
I heard you talking about the college, rivalry day weekend a little bit, and I was that made me curious because at first I'm not going to lie, I'm like, hey, I don't really do a whole lot on a Black Friday. I don't mind them throwing a game on there, but you do have college football too.
Well, it's the fact that they've got the triple header on the Thursday. You know, you're already going to have a limited slate on Sunday because you have 6 teams playing on that Thursday. So then you take this game and you put it on Friday. Means, man, it's going to be slim pickings on that Sunday.
And I'll tell you right now, if either one of these teams, it won't be both, but if one of these teams stink, I guarantee you there's not going to be a whole lot of interest there. Nobody wants to watch just one of those teams if the other one stinks.
This, to me, is the game. Cincinnati, Kansas City. New Year's Eve, 4:30 in the afternoon.
Maybe for the 1 seed.
Exactly. Going into your New Year's Eve on a Sunday afternoon, evening.
Yeah,
baby.
So wait, we're going to get
what?
Are we going to get the college football playoff on New Year's Eve like we usually do? And
On a Sunday, no.
Thank God, because
No.
I don't.
No, it won't happen. If it's got to go up against the NFL, it won't happen.
We just got lucky this year since it fell on Saturday, I think.
Yeah, they try not to do it, but sometimes they have no choice because, I mean, let's be honest, the freaking the NFL engulfs all the other days, so they're just trying to find a place to squeeze in.
It's just a matter of time before the NFL starts having Tuesday night football on ESPN 3. It's just like...
It looks like the semifinal will take place on Monday. The two semifinals will take place on Monday the 1st. So like a traditional New Year's Day. So you're going to have the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl, which will be the semifinals. That'll take place the day after this game. So New Year's Day, when everything's shut down, you're going to get your college football.
Awesome.
I would assume, I don't have the times, but I'm assuming one will be 4 and one will be 8.
Love it.
Yeah, I like that a lot, which I'm hoping that means we won't get some stupid NFL Monday Night Football game.
Oh, God, we'll get like Panthers versus Saints Monday Night Football.
What the NFL might do, though, is that they may play a few games on that Saturday.
I'm telling you, they're probably looking at that Tuesday and like, huh? Yeah, we haven't taken that day yet.
January 2nd. Come on. That just smells like NFL. Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. We can squeeze in a quadruple header. Let's go.
4 games, 12 hours.
We'll put one over in Baghdad. We'll put one over in Mexico City.
One in Kazakhstan.
What's Antarctica doing these days?
Oh, my goodness.
If they do it like they've done it in the past, what they'll do is that they'll have games on Saturday, December 30th. And that'll cancel out the New Year's Eve game. Or the New Year's Day game. I'd say ESPN will get would they get a Saturday doubleheader, tripleheader to make up for the fact that they're not going to have the NFL on Monday? And then the following week, remember last year how they did it? They flexed like a couple of games on that final Sunday or Saturday.
Yes, they did.
What was it? It was 2 games, right?
My Colts played Minnesota and got we were up
1,000 points and you lost the game. I remember that.
Jeff Saturday, that's his most known game. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
That was like his one good game, right?
I'll never forget being at halftime. I'm like, I know we stink, but this is awesome. And then, that's why they play 2 halves. So that went downhill very quickly. But yes, there's a lot more. A couple of things.
The only game he won the first one against Vegas. Is that his only win?
Yeah, he only won the first one against Vegas. Then he had I went to the Philly game where we were up the whole game and we lost to Philly. Then he had the collapse with Minnesota, and then the Texans on the last week of the year, a 4th and 20 that screwed the Texans over out of the number 1 pick in the draft. They throw it up and they win the game to beat the Colts. The Colts now get the 4th pick instead of the 7th. The Texans get the 2nd pick, instead of the first, and the AFC South just goes crazy.
One fell swoop, he screwed everybody.
Yeah, exactly. It was wild how that all shook out.
Nobody, seventh pick. They don't waste this year's pick on AR-15. Yeah. And if the Texans have the number 1 pick, they probably take Bryce Young.
And you know what's funny? When your team's in a situation like that, I didn't know how to feel the whole game. Part of me's rooting for the Colts because you want to see your team win, but part of me's rooting for the higher draft pick. It's all kind of shady. Anyways.
Yeah, he had the one win against. I remember because, what is his name? The guy that used to coach for the Steelers. He came out and attacked
Bill Cowher went nuts.
He came out and attacked Saturday and said, that he shouldn't have gotten a head coaching job. He didn't have any experience, which he was right. And then all that next week, McAfee and all of them were attacking Cowher, saying, "Oh, see what happens? You got the win." And then the egg ended up being on their face when it was all said and done because he stunk the room up the rest of the way. That's like when you get a win, you don't brag about it too much because you just got one, right? And I'm talking about not Saturday. I'm talking about all the people who were going, see. What was that? What's the idiot's name on ESPN? He was doing it too. Orlovsky. See, you got to give him a chance. And then he goes like 0-8 down the stretch.
Yeah, I think we were 4-5-1 when we won that game, and then we ended up 4-12-1.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, they were a competitive football team before Saturday took over.
We even had that Sunday night game in Dallas where we let up like 30 points in the first quarter. That was impressive.
It was. I know, we got to get you out of here. You might screw around and get us in the playoffs. Let's put Jeff Saturday in charge.
Where's Peyton Manning when you need him?
I'll tell you the guy that I'm going to be interested to see with his development more than anything else is going to be what Frank Reich can do down in Carolina with Young. Because I think he's going to be able to do things. If I know a lot of people question Young because of his size, and I do have some doubts, but I'm going to go with the fact that Reich's got a lot of experience, and if he believes in him, I'll say that that's got a chance, right? But I'll be interested to see how he develops. I'm also going to be interested to see what does Desmond Ridder do in a full season with a team that they're giving him the weapons. They're giving him a chance.
I'll be quite honest with you. I know this is probably going to be not popular, but if the Falcons are trying to win the division this year, I'm starting Heineke. I know they won't do that. I know they got the young guy, the draft pick, but I think if you truly want to win the poor NFC South this year, you would start Heineke because he won't lose you games at the end of the day.
Yeah, but you got to find out what you have with Ridder. I mean,
I know.
If it's just an absolute disaster coming out of camp, then I get where you're coming from. But Ridder gets drafted, and he got zero opportunity last year. By the time they put him in, it was the end of the season. Half the guys were injured. This year, they went out, and they got some offensive line help, which is key. They had Bijan Robinson. I just think you got to put your bet. You got to give him an opportunity, and then if he spits the bit, okay, fine, Heineke's there.
Yeah, if they start like 1-4 or something.
Yeah. Look, I can see. I can't wait to see what their schedule looks like, because at that point I can give you a more intelligent answer as far as what would be the turning point that you'd say, man, he's got to sit down.
This ain't it. Yeah.
Right. But when you look at how bad that division is going to be, they're going to have a puncher's chance.
Oh, yeah, because to me, even New Orleans, who I think should be the slight favorite with Cardinal at quarterback, I could see them really falling apart and me being a 7 or 8 win team at the end of the day, too. So, interesting division.
And in case you missed it earlier, the Mets lost again.
You hate to see it. You just hate to see it.
Mets lost, and Padres lost to the Twins. The only live game going on right now is White Sox Royals tonight. You got Yankees Rays. That'll be a fun one. Rangers are at the A's. The Giants are at the Diamondbacks. That could be a sleepy fun game. And of course, you got tomorrow, big series starting off in Toronto. Braves are what the hell?
Where are you headed?
I don't know, man. The other random phone that I don't use.
Don't leave yet.
Picked up my voice or something. I don't know what in the world that was.
They're always listening.
Something's going on, man.
Crazy.
I wasn't sure if you could hear that or not. I was like, what? I saw it light up to the side of me, and then it said whatever the heck it said, and I was like, what was that? Yeah, get out of here. I guess it could be worse.
Oh, it could be a lot worse. Hands up for me.
Let's resume that porn video. What? No.
Oh God, rewinding is not even helping. Everything's in reverse now. What's going on? Sorry.
All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to put a bow on this puppy and give you our locks. Talk a little bit about what's going to actually happen tonight, not what's going to happen in make-believe land in 6 months. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country today on Braves Country HD and 99.1 FM.
Work is work. You don't show up late, you don't make excuses, and you don't not work. If it wasn't work, they wouldn't call it work. They call it super wonderful, crazy fun time. Or skippity-doo.
It all starts with just one thing. Get to know your local beekeeper. You can make sure they don't use chemicals in the hive, that they only sell surplus honey, plus locally produced honeys have a smaller carbon footprint. Find tips and more at onethingus.com. What's your one thing?
The Armchair Quarterbacks are covering America's pastime from spring training all the way to the Fall Classic.
5-2 Dodgers in the ninth. Got him. They've done it. Like the 1969 Mets. It's the impossible dream revisited.
And Myers bringing it. And the pitch is hit in the air. Foul. Off first. Benzinger backing and calling. And the 1990 World Championship belongs to the Cincinnati Reds.
The Twins are going to win the World Series. The Twins have won it. It's a base hit. It's a 1-0 10-inning victory.
Left field, way back. Blue Jays win it. The Blue Jays are World Series champions as Joe Carter hits a 3-run home run in the 9th inning, and the Blue Jays have repeated as World Series champions. Touch them all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Armchair.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rod Peterson here, host of The Rod Peterson Show, inviting you to join us daily for 2 hours of Atlanta's funnest sports talk right here on WQEE. I say fun because it is. You've never heard a show like it because we make the listeners a part of the show every day between noon and 2 p.m. Eastern. You'll hear plenty of the best sports talk, including the latest on the Falcons, the Braves, and more. And who knows, you might even hear you. That's the Rod Peterson Show, daily at noon, right here on WQEE 99.1 FM.
You're listening to WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key in Noonan, Georgia. Welcome back. Got a few games going tonight. Celtics are at the 76ers. Elimination game. Philly can wrap it up. The Suns are fighting for their life on their home court. And the Nuggets trying to knock them out. And then you got some Got a little bit of NHL action. Devils and Hurricanes at 7:10. Kraken at Stars at 9:40. And then, of course, the baseball games we just talked about. But go ahead and give you the starting pitchers for tonight. 7:05, you got Rasmussen versus Herman. Rays are at the Yankees. And then Rangers and A's, it's going to be Eovaldi versus Neal. And Cobb and the Giants are at the Diamondbacks and Henry. And those are your 3 games tonight. Royals lead the White Sox 3-1. What game intrigues you tonight?
Any sport?
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't give me pickleball.
No. But to be honest with you, I'm looking at the Nuggets and the Suns game. DeAndre Ayton was forecasted as out. He's pretty much been the whole series anyway. Let's be honest. He doesn't seem to ever do too much for Phoenix. But if CP3 and DeAndre Ayton are not playing, that's huge right now. And the line's at right now it's at Denver +2, Phoenix -2. So I might be hopping all over Denver in this game the more I keep looking at it, because I don't think they're going to go back in there and lose another one after losing the first 2 there with some key
I went
injuries.
ahead and took Philadelphia for tonight.
Are you trying to reverse the luck?
Hey, dude, the way I look at it is if they win, I win some money. If they lose, Celtics go to a game 7.
I like that.
I thought about it long and hard today. I was like, you know what? I'm probably not going to get a chance to see much of the game anyways. Screw it. Let me put some money on the Sixers, and then if we lose, and it's over.
The Celtics are so hard for me to figure out.
Dude, I'm so disgusted with Joe Mazzulla as a head coach. I just think he's soft. His team is soft, and this team was not soft last year.
No, this team's more like butter now. They're letting James Harden and Joel Embiid just do what they want most of the time.
They should have let Udoka bang whoever he wanted to bang and just let it go, man.
Hey, he might have been banging, but his players were banging on the boards, and they stopped doing that now.
My God. It's like they castrated our entire team.
What's going on out there?
Gave the whole team a vasectomy, and now it's over.
And I tell you what, I was listening to some Philly people today talk about this game, and they said this is like their biggest game in probably the last 20 years, literally dating back to the Allen Iverson days. They go, against Boston, we have a chance to actually close them out in a series. Philadelphia is going to be fired up tonight. I don't know if it will mean anything, but their home court is going to be something to watch tonight.
Yeah, I don't think it'll mean anything. I think it'll come down to, can Boston hit their shots? And how tough do they play on the boards? Boston's the better team.
Oh, yeah.
But you got to prove it. Games are not played on paper. They're played inside your television sets.
That's 100% correct. And if you're going to let Embiid dominate the boards and Harden shoot at will, your chances are way down. That being said, though, in that game, I think I do like Boston, because just when I think Boston, to count them out, they'll come right back in and win this game by 10 or something. So I'm going to go Boston tonight.
I do think the Suns are going to get knocked out tonight, don't you?
Oh, that's my lock, the Denver Nuggets. We could just do it right now. I will lock in the Denver Nuggets tonight. Yeah,
I like it. I just don't think
it's so hard to win when I know they have Durant and obviously Devin Booker, 2 of the top 10 players in the NBA. But when you don't have a bench and then you're going to be without CP3 and Ayton on top of that, you can't just rely on 2 guys. The Denver Nuggets are too good of a team to let those 2 guys just single-handedly take you out tonight, in my opinion.
the way I look at it too is there was a telling interview by Durant the other night after the game that they lost. What was it, game 5? And they said something to the effect of, man, Jackie Bradley Jr. is making things look difficult in center field. He normally makes them look easy. He just went back for a ball, turned around 3 times, and finally caught it, shoestring, in a ball that was hit to him. I think he could have just kind of drifted over to his right and would have made the catch.
What is it, Bozo Circus out there?
I don't know. I mean, he's making the catches. You can't complain about it, but I've always known him to be one of the smoothest fielders. I don't know if he's drunk or what he's doing out there. It is past 4:20, so you never know.
Maybe he smoked one up.
He's out there in Kansas City, smoking more than the pork butts that they got rolling around out there.
Tom Brenneman wasn't a big fan of Kansas City. We know that.
Man, how has that Oakland broadcaster not gotten canned?
I don't care what his explanation is. He said what he said. It's over. How are you not done?
I don't understand that.
There's not with the Huggins one, you can see where, to me, and just in my opinion, you can see where
Huggins was stupid too. Huggins should have been fired. I'm sorry, but he doubled down on it. He said it twice.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
But when the Oakland broadcaster said what he said, I don't understand how that did not end up in a firing.
Me either. Who's the guy next to him in the booth? It's their former pitcher.
Okay, he has been suspended. So I missed that. Because the day after, they see how long has he been suspended?
It took him a while to get through with that.
Yeah, it was a couple of days.
And in fact, in the game itself, he said it in the second or third inning, and they didn't even acknowledge it until inning number 6. And I forget the pitcher next to.
That's because the 3 people that were tuning into the Oakland A's broadcast had fallen asleep.
/ racists, apparently.
He was trying to see if anyone was still listening.
Well, social media never sleeps, my friend from Oakland.
Trying to see. It doesn't say how long he's been suspended.
They should just make it indefinitely and then cancel.
It just says he's been suspended. That's it. Suspended while it's been reviewed. While it's being reviewed.
Get him out of there.
I just don't understand how he could. I mean, the simple fact of the matter, for people who don't know what he did, without saying what he said, he was making a reference to what they were doing and in Kansas City as Oakland played Kansas City. In his comment, he said, "We had a phenomenal today," and said the Blank League Museum and some kind of barbecue joint is what they did. And when I say Blank League, he used the N-word. And I'm just going to call it how I see it. If you're saying that,
you're thinking about it,
then that's probably in your vocabulary when the microphones and the cameras are off. That didn't just seep in. Well, you know what I meant. No, wait a minute. No, I know. The thing is, we do know what you meant. And that's how we ended up here.
Yeah, there's some words growing up that you and your friends use where it's loose slang. And you're like, oh, man, remember when we used – with this word, it's no, you almost have to go out of your way to say it. Or like you said,
it just tells me that that's how he refers to that museum or that league when he's not on the air.
Yep, I agree completely.
That doesn't accidentally happen. And normally I'm the first person to say, man, people make mistakes, et cetera, et cetera. That one is man, come on now.
That one's adios, see you later. You can't explain that one.
You don't come back from that. I'm sorry.
No. Not even from the A's 3 people watching. You can't come back.
What was almost as shocking is, did you see the guy sitting next to him?
Yeah, there was a former pitcher of theirs. I can't remember his name right now. Is it Dallas Braden or something? But
is that who that was?
I think so. Yes.
He was just. He didn't even react. But also, what the hell was he wearing? He had like some goofy hipster doofus hat on with a beard down to his ankles.
You know what? Just like their team.
You know you were on the air that day. Did you know you were on camera that day?
Just like the Oakland A's organization, they need to start fresh in the booth and on the field. Just give it a clean sweep.
Like ZZ Top. Reject.
Yeah, the cast off.
Speaking of ZZ Top, he made Steven Troche look like a sharp-dressed man.
Zing, wham, boom.
Zing, wham, boom. I'm sitting there. I heard the thing. I was like, wait, what did he just say? And then I'm looking over at the other guys like, well, he was just nodding along.
It almost sounded so real that I thought, I'm like, wait, was that a voiceover?
If I'm sitting there and someone says that, you're going to see me just come out and go out of the screen.
Like the Homer Simpson.
Like, I don't want any part of this, man. I'm not trying to get famous this way. I'm out.
McGee's doing the Homer Simpson gif where he backs up into the grass until you can't see Homer anymore.
Going to commercial when we come back. All right, I'm going to bring you play-by-play, pitch-by-pitch. Glenn is taking a walk.
We have just let go a couple employees.
And it's about damn time.
Hey, man.
I'm just saying, Oakland, I'm here, baby. I'm here. Ready to take the reins. What is your walk-off for the day, sir?
My walk-off is, like I said at the beginning, I'm just excited to see the path of the Colts schedule. It does look like we're getting Jacksonville at Indianapolis week 1. So my Colts will be starting 1-0. Me and Mickey, I'll be having him wear a Jeff Saturday shirt that I've worn before when the Colts come up victorious against Jacksonville.
Where's that game at?
In Indianapolis, week 1.
It's weird to have a homecoming game on the road, but that's a nice, easy win for the Jags.
Oh, man. I got Cam Newton now.
I mean, come on. Oakland Athletics. Look, would we have to change the name to Athletics Country today?
Oh. I like the Braves, though. You want to talk?
I guarantee you we've got a larger viewing audience than the Oakland Athletics.
Oh, amen.
I still don't see how Monday Night Football got the Chiefs and Eagles.
Where's that game at?
It's in Kansas City. That should have been the first game of the season.
That's the easiest. They put it on a plate for you.
Detroit Lions have some nudie pictures of NBC. That's how they're ending up on the first game of the season. My walk-off is be back tomorrow, live 3 to 5, and then we're heading in to, I guess that would be northern Michigan, northern Buffalo, Braves, Blue Jays, 3-game set. We'll break all that down tomorrow. That's going to be an exciting and a fun series. And we might have a Mike Soroka sighting. More on that tomorrow. Have a great night, y'all. And I'm headed to the old ballpark to watch some jumbo shrimp slap it around.
Good luck.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to Braves Country with Mac McGee and the Armchair Quarterbacks on 99.1 FM WQEE, The Key in Noonan, Georgia, and simulcasting on youtube.com/@Braves Country. Braves Country comes your way weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. Please follow, like, and subscribe today. Armchair Quarterback Radio, your first choice for Southern sports.
Something of the 5th of September. Something of the 5th of September. She said a lot that I can't remember. Something of the 5th. Can I get another cigarette, please? Can I get another cigarette, please? Yeah, I know I live to regret it. Just give me another cigarette, please. Ha! Ha!
You're listening to WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key in Noonan, Georgia.
Are you looking for a reliable dental practice that not only cares about your teeth, but is friendly to work with? How about one that offers great deals and new patient promotions? Well, your search is over. Most Valuable Smiles in downtown Eatonton, Georgia is committed to giving you the biggest and brightest smile. Right now, get a $99 new patient special, including x-rays and exam. Maybe you're looking for veneers. Most Valuable Smiles veneer special includes 1 free veneer with every 5 purchased. Or get that bright white smile you've always wanted by taking advantage of an exclusive $100 off Zoom whitening treatment when you book today. And don't forget that 2022 is almost over. That means most insurance policies will reset by the new year, and to avoid losing that extra money, you need to use it or lose it. Book an appointment today with Most Valuable Smiles in downtown Eatonton to lock in these exclusive deals. Call 706-623-0318 or visit mostvaluablesmiles.com.
Hey, sports fans, The Key has a brand new show. Braves Country is coming your way weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. Drive time on WQEE. Braves Country is a Southern sports talk show with Magee and the Armchair quarterbacks. We'll be talking the Atlanta Braves and Major League Baseball, along with everything important to sports fans in Braves Country. The SEC, ACC, Big Ten, and the National Football League, and the big sports news of the day. That's Braves Country with Magee and the Armchair quarterbacks. Weekdays, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. right here on WQEE, The Key, 99.1 FM, and simulcasting on youtube.com/@Braves Country.